Coral reefs are a complex and vital underwater ecosystem. About 25% of the ocean's fish depend on healthy coral reefs for shelter, food, and a place to raise their young. Some of these coral have been around for more than 50 million years. Reefs are used for recreation, to protect coastlines from storms and erosion, and to provide jobs. More than 500 million people rely on healthy reefs for food, income, and protection.
There's a lot of fish on the reef, there's a lot of sea cucumbers, there's a lot of sea urchins, there's algae, so people take all kinds of products out of the reef. That's one way they contribute, is with just food. Another way was providing coastal protection. And that's especially important, for example, when a hurricane comes. That would wipe out miles and miles of coastal property, for example.
Globally, reef tourism garners more than $36 billion every year. Our world depends on coral, and ocean ecosystems need it to survive. Most of the world's oceans have warmed by 1 to 2 degrees Fahrenheit. Anthropogenic burning of fossil fuels causes not only our world's temperature, but the temperature of the oceans to rise. As more carbon dioxide and greenhouse gases are released into our air, they trap more heat in the atmosphere, which in turn warms the oceans. Roughly 2/3 of the world's reef-building corals have been lost since the early 1980s. Increased ocean temperatures, sea level rise, pollution and nutrient runoff from industrial processes and agriculture, ocean acidification, and a myriad of other factors cause coral bleaching. When ocean conditions change and coral polyps become stressed, the zooxanthellae algae living in the coral is expelled as a reaction. The algae are in a symbiotic relationship with the coral and give it energy through photosynthesis. The coral loses its main source of food, turns white or very pale, and is more susceptible to disease. Coral bleaching has affected and will continue to affect some of the most prominent reefs around the world, such as the Great Barrier Reef, which has seen a significant drop in species diversity recently. 1/3 of the Great Barrier Reef went through a catastrophic die-off after a searing heat wave in 2016, and a large-scale bleaching event hit in 2017. In the late 1990s, the world began seeing the effects of the warming planet as coral began turning white all across the world.
There's a lot of fish, for example, that only feed on corals. So if the corals bleach, those species of fish, they disappear almost overnight. There's a lot of polychaetes that live in tight relationships in complex exclusive relationships with corals. They wouldn't be there if the live coral weren't there. Those relationships completely break down.
This ghastly scene has the power to affect an entire ecosystem. The biggest misconception about coral bleaching is that the bleach indicates that the coral has died, when it can actually just be experiencing extreme stress. Coral can come back from bleaching events and other stress-inducing situations.
If they stay bleached for long enough, say 2, 3, 4 weeks, they just starve and die. If the temperature go back to normal within just a few days, they can reacquire the algae and continue living without much problem. But if the water stays warm for long, then they die.
A study published online in the journal Global Change Biology projected that the current rate of temperature-based bleaching could be reduced by 20 to 80% by the year 2099 if there are large changes in carbon dioxide emissions. The individual's first step to avoiding wide-scale bleaching of our coral is solving climate change as not only a nation, but a planet.